Okay, so we pay respects to the Buddha by giving 3 bows. Okay, and page 1 of the chanting book. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. And the next page, Vandana. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijja charana sampano sugato lokavidu anutaro purisada masarati sata deva manusana buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayiko pachatang veditabo vinyuhiti supatipano bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Ujupatipano bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Nyāyapatipano bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Samicipatipano bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Yadidang cattari purisa yukani Atha purisa pukara Esa bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo Anjali karaniyo Anutarang punya kitang lokasati. And turn to page 7. This transference of merits to the devas. Akasata ca bhumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditva Cirang rakantu loka sasana Akasata ca bhumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditva Cirang rakantu desana Akasata ca bhumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditva Cirang rakantu mataram. Blessing to the world. Devo vasatu kalena sasa sampati hetu ca Pito bhavatu loko ca Raja bhavatu dhammiko. Transference of merits to the departed. Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Aspiration. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nibbana patiya. Asking for pardon. Kayena vaca cittena amadena maya katang acayang kamame pante uripanya tathagata. Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma sanditika akarika. Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangha supatipana anuttara. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so morning first session, and we start off with positive energy or reflection. So we're going to do the 4 sublime states. So we're going to find a comfortable sitting posture. Make sure the body is upright, rest the body relaxed. Okay, then we're going to first feel the sensations throughout the entire body. Mindfulness of the 4 elements, earth, fire, wind, water. Earth is hard and soft sensations, fire is hot and cold, wind is fast, slow movements, water is moist and dry. So whatever sensation that appears, there's no need to control. So it's real-time evidence. Whatever appears, we just wish them well and happy. So the wishing part, wishing well and happy, that's part of right thought. And the repetition, that's part of right effort. New sensation appear, well and happy. New sensation appear, well and happy. And whatever feeling that come together, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feelings, we also make peace with them. Do not fight or struggle, no clinging. Just make peace with them, wish them well and happy. And then we need to observe the settling of the mind. If you're on the right track, this craving formation should reduce. and the mind should settle down. And if the mind is getting more agitated, means there's more craving. So this process of settling and agitation is part of the Four Noble Truths contemplation. Four Noble Truths is suffering, cause of suffering, cessation of suffering, and a path leading to the cessation of suffering. So if you are able to reduce craving and let the mind settle, means you are doing something to reduce craving. That's the last two Noble Truths. And if you are getting more tension, more stressed up, more agitation, then that's the first two Noble Truths. So actually this is the indicator in your daily life. So instead of testing for, I don't know, maybe COVID positive, you test for craving positive. Check our own this so-called craving level. Okay, if you find your mind relatively calm and the rate of settling is quite negligible, then we take it as the baseline emotion. And we first remember this state of mind. So at every stage there's always clarity and discernment. So now we're going to wish all beings in all directions well and happy, above, below, and all across, all directions, in front, behind, left, right. So again, just a gentle wish for the mind to expand out naturally by itself, no need to push. However far the mind wish to extend doesn't matter. Okay, and within that sphere of attention, whatever sensations that you may detect, we're going to wish all beings well and happy. We perceive all beings as the elements and the sensations. All beings are made of the aggregates. So whatever sensation that appear, we're going to wish all beings well and happy. No need to visualize. The sensation itself already has pleasant and unpleasant feeling. So if you visualize some more pleasant and unpleasant feelings, so we are trying to reduce as much unnecessary contact as possible. And part of the criteria for entering calmness or concentration is they always mention quite withdrawn from sensuality. That means do not get overly distracted. So whatever sensation appear, then we wish all beings well and happy. Doesn't matter if it's inside the body or outside the body, near or far. So this is more like the non-discrimination approach. Okay, and if the emotion changes from the blend baseline to something more joyful or happy, and that's the indicator of the first level of concentration. And regardless of what you experience, keep on wishing all beings well and happy. Keep rowing the boat, treat everything else as byproduct. Treat everything else as passing sceneries. They are not the end goal. No need to get stuck at the passing sceneries. So everything is due to cause and effect. You create the action, then there's a result. When you row the boat, then there will be momentum, there's movement. So if you don't row, you can't expect the momentum to be there forever. Okay, and next we are going to add some insight, some wisdom. We're going to reflect how to cultivate a more unconditional loving kindness. So we're going to observe impermanence and shake off this attachment. Any forms of personal attachment or biasness can be sort of shaken off with this impermanence. So we're going to keep observing impermanence and reflecting on impermanence. So observations is the real-time evidence, any sensations. and the label we use is impermanence, or any word associated with impermanence, and we keep repeating. Okay, if the joy and happiness starts to fade away, then one may experience this equanimity, or the fourth level of concentration, usually indicated by this neutral and refreshing kind of experience. So the same thing, regardless of what you experience, keep rowing the boat, keep on reflecting on impermanence, treat everything else as passing sceneries. And we switch to the second sublime state, which is compassion. So for compassion, we wish all beings, may they be free from suffering. So similarly, the non-discrimination approach, all beings, regardless they are rich or poor, healthy or sick, as long as they cling on to these aggregates, they cling on to the sensations, to the form, and they will result in stress and tension. So whenever we detect any sensation, we are going to wish all beings free from suffering. So the main thing is no visualization or imagination, because that's one of the tempting kind of mental formations and clinging, which results in more proliferation and drama. So we keep rowing the boat. May all beings be free from suffering. Okay, if all the conditions are right, then one may experience this joy, happiness and joy associated with the second level of concentration. So the compassion with happy emotions, that's the concentrative kind of compassion. And regardless of what you experience, keep on wishing all beings, may they be free from suffering. And next we add some insight, some wisdom, and we're going to reflect how to overcome this suffering, which is to learn to let go on these clinging aggregates. So we're going to use impermanence to shake things off. So every moment, every sensation appearing, we keep reflecting on impermanence. So keep observing and reflecting on impermanence. If the joy and happiness start to subside, and one may experience this blank kind of experience, so we call this the perception of infinite space. And regardless of what you experience, keep on reflecting on impermanence. So all the while we introduce this thing called the four elements, earth, fire, wind, water, and there's a thing called the space element. Any kind of blankness, any kind of space in between the elements, and that is called the space element. And then we can move on to the third sublime state, which is appreciative joy. So we can rejoice in the accomplishments of all beings. And similarly, we're using the non-discrimination approach. All beings, whether they win or lose, as long as they go through the process, they'll gain at least some form of life experience. So whenever we detect any sensation, we also gain some bit of life experience or something common with all beings. So whenever we detect something new, we can rejoice with all beings. When sensation appears, rejoice with all beings. more we keep rejoicing, conditions are right, one may experience this happiness of the third level of concentration. And regardless of what you experience, keep on rejoicing with all beings. Okay, then we're going to add some insight, some wisdom, and we're going to reflect that all beings will eventually be separated from what they have achieved. And similarly, all these sensations, they don't stay fast 24/7, and they come and go every moment. So you keep observing how they arise and pass away, keep reflecting on impermanence. Okay, and if the joy and happiness start to disappear, instead of feeling blankness like before, this time around is the opposite. Most probably it's a sense of fullness or wholeness, as though the sense of self has merged or overlapped the entire space. And we call that the perception of infinite consciousness. And regardless of what you experience, keep on reflecting on impermanence. So earlier on I mentioned this earth, fire, wind, water, space element. And the sixth element is called the consciousness element. So the consciousness is basically the awareness, which is the one observing the elements. And we switch to the fourth sublime state, which is equanimity. And the reflection that we use is the topic on karma. So all beings are the owners of their karma. We reap what we sow. And for this routine, there's no need to speculate what we've done in the past, what kind of retribution and so on. No need to speculate. So we're just going to observe here and now any real-time sensations appearing. That's basically all the past kind of karmas ripening. If it's a pleasant sensation, then that's due to good karmas ripening. If it is an unpleasant sensation, then that's bad karmas ripening. And if it's a neutral sensation, then that's neutral karmas ripening. So in short, every experience is conditioned by karma. Okay, if the mind is more accepting towards karma, then one's mind will be more balanced and will experience this emotion of equanimity associated with the fourth level of concentration, and this neutral and refreshing kind of emotion. And regardless of what you experience, keep on reflecting on karma. Then we're going to add some insight, some wisdom, and we're going to reflect how to overcome these karmas. That is to reflect on the impermanence of all feelings, all pleasant, unpleasant, neutral feelings. We observe how they arise and pass away. Okay, if let's say the joy start to disappear, and one may experience a new kind of blankness, and we call that the perception of nothingness. So that nothing is actually still something, as long as there's something to detach, because it's still part of the five aggregates, part of perception. And regardless of what you experience, keep on reflecting on impermanence. And if you wish, you may use the five aggregates, observe the arising and passing of the five aggregates. Okay, so before we conclude this session, same gentle reminder, as long as we maintain this boundless sublime states or reflection of impermanence in all activities, standing, sitting, walking, or lying down, then this is the most sublime living. And with that, we can gently open our eyes, formally end the session, but informally still can generate right thought. Okay, so that's the morning sitting.